Hi. It suggested that I do this because I am so fed up of fighting for everything. Every day I'm in pain, whether it's with my head, my back, hips, knees, joints, just name it, the pain's there. There's also my mental health. I've suffered depression for more years than I care to remember. I have finally, after many years, managed to be put forward for trauma therapy, but not just to the current problems with COVID. There's also waiting lists. I got my first referral for this in January of 2019. And it's only recently really that it's all come to fruition, but I've got yet another 10 months to wait before I get my trauma therapy. What doesn't help is not being taken seriously. I moved to this property 4.5 years ago, which meant, although it's only up the road, not very far, in fact probably closer than my last house, I've had to change doctors because my previous one of 21 years, who was excellent, only takes patients from B76. It's a postcode thing. My new doctors, what can I say? They're really not interested. There are only a couple of doctors there that do part-time, regular doctors that belong to the surgery. All the other time, it's locums. I'm not knocking locums, they have to learn. But when you go in with severe pain and they give you a tube of ibuprofen gel and tell you to buy paracetamol, which you've explained that you've had taken off repeat prescription because of analgesic headaches, and that's it. Nothing more. No referrals back to my specialists. I asked if I could be referred back to my ENT specialist because problems with my right ear are getting worse. I got called back to the surgery to be told that why did I want to be referred? So I explained, to which they responded, but we don't have any record of it. That was the end of that. I've seen the practice manager about the lack of care and consideration that these people are given. The fact you're just a case number and an NHS number, that there's not a real person here. A real person, that is struggling daily, whether it's just to get out of bed. You can see I'm in my bed today. That's initially because my back went last week. When I was away, I ended up in A&E in Scarborough Hospital. Even there, I had, toward the end, a doctor scurry up to me, stare at me for a bit until I stared back. And his response was, "Carol, your MRI is fine, go home," and scurried off again. No chance to ask him any questions, no chance to ask if the MRI had shown anything. Okay, I take it the discs are still intact, but something went pop. Something stopped me from walking and being in so much pain that my sister, who is also unwell, was left to care for me. I was eventually able to travel back on Wednesday, which has meant I'm suffering for the amount that I was having to sit down on trains and coaches. And again, as I say, why I'm in my bed, because I've been doing stuff this morning. I've had enough, I'm in pain. But now my mental issue has come to the fore because I'm fighting. I can't get 2 days in a row now. I can't get an appointment with my doctor. Both times I phoned at 8 and I was 30 blah 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 in the queue. I sat waiting, listening to myself moving down the queue. And when I got through, all the appointments have gone. Try again. Like yesterday, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Today it's try again, 8 o'clock on Monday. I've received paperwork today because I lost my PIP this year. Because the assessor that came to my house deemed that there was nothing wrong with me. Nothing. I looked perfectly fine. I'd got good grip. I wonder if she'd say that when I try and pick a mug up and I can't feel my hand and I drop it. That I showed lower body problems, but that I could use furniture and other things to help me move around if I didn't use my stick, which I tend not to in the house. Although I had to last week because I was in so much pain and couldn't bear my weight. The paperwork I've received today, because I'm having to take this PIP appeal, obviously is being requested by the people that are helping me fight for it, because I can't do it on my own. Instead of them sending it to them, I've sent it to me. So I've got over 700 pages to post off. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg, which, when your income has been halved, isn't useful, but I will do it. But I started to read some of the paperwork today, and reading between the lines, it's the lack of interest that my new surgery has shown in my conditions being fobbed off, not helping to look at other treatments that are a little bit better than bloody paracetamol and ibuprofen gel. There's nothing on my notes, and it would appear that the fact they had nothing about my ENT specialist, and also the fact that they had no record of my diagnosis of fibromyalgia, it would appear that they've actually lost quite a section. It would all have been around 2015 of my notes. So therefore, with everything I sent in for my mandatory reconsideration for the PIP, it looks like there's absolutely nothing wrong with me. Okay. We don't always want to show that there's a problem. We try and mask, especially our mental health, which is easier to do than hobbling around when your back and hips and knees are so much in pain you can barely walk.